OMG, where did you get that cape from?
From a really hard boss called Jad.
Is there any bosses I can do?
Yeah, sure. I'll show you where to start.
Let's go.
This is your first boss.
It's safe to say the old school RuneScape has changed a lot over the years. Some good changes and some bad, but one thing they have got absolutely bang on is making the bossing ladder more accessible. So instead of going straight from killing fire giants into getting absolutely wrecked in a TOB, there is now a ton of mid and early game bosses, so you can start learning the essential skills needed to even think about doing that sweaty, insane, maxed out raid content. And the first step on this noob and improved bossing ladder is a brand new low level cow boss called Brutus. You can probably kill Brutus with your stats fresh off Tutorial Island, but fail to dodge his attacks and you will be punished. That's why this is a great first boss. It teaches you some basic movement and dodging mechanics, and it is the first step up the ladder from clicking on a rock crab and standing there and waiting till it's dead. Before we fully move up to the next step of the ladder, I'm going to give an honourable mention to the Hill and Moss Giant bosses, Obor and Bryo Fighter. These teach some great mechanics like having to swap weapon and deal with these growthlings that spawn during the fight. But now we are fully moving on to the next step of the ladder. It's time for Scurious, the rat boss. Released in early 2024, this has got to be one of the best early to mid game bosses for teaching you how to swap your prayer effectively and get you used to using your F keys to flick from your prayer back to your inventory to heal up and so on. Scurious is also really good XP for all combat styles, so I would highly recommend putting some time into this boss and learning all the mechanics here, because they are going to really help you out in the future. Now, moving on, this next step can be considered to be a little bit more challenging. There are two bosses, well technically 9 bosses, the Barrows brothers and the Moons of Peril, which are another set of mid-level bosses added to the game in 2024. But first, we will take a look at Barrows. Barrows is great to start learning to bring some basic gear switches, as well as learning to manage your prayer and inventory space. It's definitely worth getting to grips with, and if you're lucky, you might even land yourself some gear upgrades and make some lovely GP. Looking at the Moons of Peril then, these teach you some valuable lessons like flinching and making the most of changing your attack style and your weapon. With this being a lot newer than Barrows, it's a lot smoother and better looking, and obviously you can make some great GP here as well, with the supplies being completely free here, providing you have the stat requirements to do so. The next run of the ladder isn't any more difficult at all, and we have 2 more newly added mid-game bosses, the Huicoatl and the Amoxiatl. The Amoxiatl is really good for improving your timing, movement and spatial awareness. It also has a very nice looking and elusive pet drop that I would love to get my hands on. The Huicoatl is another great boss for practicing your prayer flicking under pressure and combining it with your movement. It's also a really good boss to do with your friends or in a group, and there is a couple of really nice drops to be had to make it worth your while. Now we are almost at the top of our noob and improved bossing ladder, but before we get there we have 2 more bosses on this next level to deal with. The first one being Vorkath, aka the Money Dragon, and we also have Zulrah, aka the Money Snake. So firstly, looking at Vorkath, although this boss is locked behind the Dragon Slayer 2 quest, it is definitely worth your while. Once you've mastered the couple of tricky mechanics that Vorkath throws at you, you can basically print GP and afford all them gear upgrades that you've been dreaming about. Moving on to Zulrah then, the last boss before we reach the final challenge of this noob and improved bossing ladder, and it's probably the hardest boss on the ladder so far. However, some rotations are easier than others, and once you cross this skill gap and make it safely to the other side, you will be ready for the final challenge on this ladder. This final challenge will require nerves of steel, lightning fast reactions, and the mental strength to endure 63 waves of non-stop slaughter. But by using all the skills you have learned on your way here, you should be able to defeat the Jad, claim your fire cape, and officially show everyone you are no longer a noob and you have significantly improved your PVM skills. Thank you so much for watching the video. If this video helps even point one person in the right direction, I'll be happy. But make sure you tick that like button if you enjoyed it. Subscribe for more content like this, and as always, I will see you in the next one.
He is a big boy. I wonder where that milk came from?